When running power inside steel columns, several methods can be employed, each with its own advantages and disadvantages. One method involves using a magnetic base drill with an annular cutter. This provides precise holes with minimal material loss. It does require a magnetic base that adheres to the steel column. Another method is torch cutting, where you cut a hole using an oxy-fuel or plasma torch. This is faster than drilling, but can result in more material damage and distortion. It also requires proper ventilation and safety precautions. A third method involves hole sawing. Use a hole saw with a carbide-tipped blade. This method is slower than magnetic base drilling, but is less prone to material damage. Choose a hole saw size that is slightly smaller than the required diameter of the conduit. Lastly, water jet cutting can be used to create holes in the steel column. This provides highly accurate and precise holes with minimal material deformation. It requires specialized equipment and may not be suitable for all applications. When drilling holes, keep the following tips in mind. Firstly, use a sharp drill bit or hole saw. This will minimize friction and extend tool life. Secondly, lubricate the drill bit. Use a cutting oil or lubricant to reduce heat and wear. Thirdly, drill slowly and apply even pressure. Avoid applying excessive force, as this can damage the drill bit or hole saw. Fourthly, clear the cuttings. Use a vacuum or compressed air to remove metal shavings after each hole. Fifthly, burr the edges. Remove any sharp edges from the hole using a file or deburring tool. When making these holes, consider the column thickness, ensuring that the hole diameter does not exceed 1.25 inches to maintain the column strength. Also consider the conduit size and choose a hole diameter that allows for sufficient space around the conduit for insulation and bending. Always wear appropriate personal protective equipment, including safety glasses, earplugs, and gloves, when drilling or cutting into steel columns. When considering the installation of electrical systems within steel columns, it's imperative to understand the relevant codes and standards, primarily the National Electrical Code or NEC, and any applicable local amendments. The NEC provides comprehensive guidelines for safe and effective electrical installations, covering aspects from conductor sizing and insulation to grounding and overcurrent protection. For example, NEC Section 300.4 addresses protection against physical damage, stipulating that conductors, raceways, and cables must be protected from damage. When running conductors inside steel columns, this section necessitates careful consideration to prevent abrasion or other physical harm to the conductors. Furthermore, NEC Section 310.15 and its associated tables dictate the allowable opacity of conductors based on factors like insulation type, ambient temperature, and the number of current-carrying conductors in a raceway or cable. These tables, such as Table 310.16, provide crucial data for selecting the appropriate conductor size to ensure it can safely carry the intended load without overheating. Derating factors, as outlined in NEC Section 310.15 C, may also need to be applied if multiple current-carrying conductors are bundled together or if the ambient temperature exceeds certain limits. Grounding is another critical aspect covered extensively in the NEC, particularly in Article 250. Proper grounding ensures a low impedance path for fault currents, facilitating the operation of overcurrent protective devices like circuit breakers or fuses, thereby minimizing the risk of electrical shock or fire. When installing electrical systems within steel columns, the metal structure itself may need to be bonded to the grounding system to ensure electrical continuity and safety. Overcurrent protection, addressed in NEC Article 240, is essential to protect conductors and equipment from overloads and short circuits. Circuit breakers and fuses are designed to interrupt the flow of current when it exceeds a predetermined level, preventing damage to the electrical system. The selection of appropriate overcurrent protective devices must be based on the ampacity of the conductors and the characteristics of the connected load. Raceway fill, as specified in NEC Chapter 9, limits the number of conductors that can be installed in a raceway or conduit. This ensures adequate space for heat dissipation and prevents damage to the conductors during installation. When running conductors inside steel columns, it's important to adhere to these raceway fill requirements to maintain the integrity and safety of the electrical system. In addition to these specific NEC sections, it's also crucial to consult other relevant articles and sections that may apply to the specific installation. For instance, if the steel columns are located in a hazardous or classified location as defined in NEC Articles 500 through 516, additional requirements may apply to ensure the electrical system is suitable for the environment. Furthermore, it's essential to comply with all applicable local codes and regulations which may impose additional requirements or restrictions beyond those specified in the NEC. These local codes are often based on the NEC, but may be modified to address specific local conditions or concerns. When planning the installation of electrical systems within steel columns, it's advisable to consult with a qualified electrical engineer or a licensed electrician. These professionals have the knowledge and experience to ensure that the installation complies with all applicable codes and standards and that it is performed safely and effectively. They can also provide guidance on selecting the appropriate materials and methods for the specific application, taking into account factors like the size and configuration of the steel columns, the type of electrical load being served, and the environmental conditions. To elaborate further, consider the implications of using metal-clad cable, commonly referred to as MC cable, within steel columns. MC cable offers a degree of mechanical protection and is often employed in situations where exposed wiring might be susceptible to damage. However, when running MC cable inside steel columns, several factors must be taken into account. Firstly, the NEC addresses the installation of MC cable in Article 330. This article specifies the permitted uses and restrictions for MC cable, as well as requirements for support, protection, and termination. When installing MC cable inside steel columns, it's crucial to ensure that the cable is adequately supported and protected from physical damage, as required by NEC Section 330.30. This may involve using cable ties, straps, or other approved methods to secure the cable to the inside of the column. Secondly, the steel column itself may act as a raceway, and the requirements for raceway fill must be considered. NEC Chapter 9 provides tables that specify the maximum number of conductors or cables that can be installed in a raceway of a given size. When running MC cable inside a steel column, it's important to ensure that the cable does not exceed the allowable fill for the column, as this could lead to overheating or damage to the cable. Thirdly, the grounding requirements for MC cable must be carefully followed. MC cable typically includes a grounding conductor that must be properly connected to the grounding system to ensure electrical safety. When installing MC cable inside a steel column, the grounding conductor must be connected to a suitable grounding electrode, such as a grounding rod or the building structural steel, in accordance with NEC Article 250. Furthermore, the metal sheath of the MC cable must also be bonded to the grounding system to provide a low impedance path for fault currents. This can be accomplished by using approved connectors or fittings that are designed to bond the cable sheath to the grounding system. In addition to these specific requirements, it's also important to consider the overall design and layout of the electrical system within the steel columns. The conductors must be sized appropriately to carry the intended load, and overcurrent protection must be provided to protect the conductors and equipment from overloads and short circuits. The installation must also comply with all applicable local codes and regulations, which may impose additional requirements or restrictions. When making the holes in the steel column for the MC cable to pass, consider the size of the connector that will be installed in the end of the MC cable. The hole must be large enough to accommodate the connector, but not so large that it compromises the structural integrity of the column. It's also important to deburr the edges of the hole to prevent damage to the cable insulation. Ultimately, the key to a safe and effective electrical installation within steel columns is careful planning, attention to detail, and strict adherence to all applicable codes and standards. By consulting with qualified professionals and following best practices, it's possible to create an electrical system that is both reliable and safe. And as a final note, consider consulting with a structural engineer to ensure that any holes drilled into the steel column do not compromise its structural integrity, especially if the holes are larger than 1.25 inches in diameter or if the steel is thinner than 3/8 of an inch. The location of the holes is also important, as holes located near the center of the column are less likely to weaken it than holes located near the edges.